All right, guys. Today's question is from Josh Minnick. He asked, "What's the team dynamic like in college? Was it different or the same as high school?" It's an awesome question, Josh. Thanks for reaching out and asking. Team dynamic in college for me was very different than it was in high school. For me, when I was in high school, a lot of my teammates were my teammates, for 4 years. Before that, in our middle school or junior high, we had a baseball team, right? Our junior high team had junior high had a baseball team, and we were all on the same team then. 7th, 8th grade, all the way up through senior year, it was all the same guys, right? So, and even before that, we were going to school together and knew each other for however long. And even if we didn't know each other, we've heard of each other, stuff like that. But when you show up in college, my first day on campus, I met 35 guys who were immediately like my best friends. At the end of the day, like I spent 4, 5, 6 hours a day with this group of guys every single day, which isn't the same as high school, right? There's also something to be said about the amount of independence you have in college. At the end of the day, you're going to bed and you're going to your dorm rooms, you're going to your apartments, and you're going back with your teammates. So you build a relationship beyond just hanging out at school or after school and stuff like that. You guys are growing into adults together. So there's a lot to be said about that. And just enjoying college together, also a lot to be said about that. So the overall dynamic was much more of a brotherhood. Not to say that my high school team, didn't have that same brotherhood. We definitely did. But in college, you're spending every single day together for a full school year, right? A lot of guys played other sports in high school, so during the fall and winter times, you wouldn't really see them as much. But in college, it's fall, it's winter, it's spring. You're together this entire time. Building relationships and stuff like that. So, in and of itself, it was like its own fraternity, right? And that's the word that I would use to describe it is brotherhood or fraternity. So, as a high school kid, that's something that I would be looking forward to. I can't speak and say that that's going to be the same no matter where you go, but in my experience, that's exactly what it was. Like I said, I showed up on campus, met my freshman class, and those guys are going to be in my wedding party. So I love those guys to death, and definitely something to be said about that. Another thing about college baseball is summer ball, right? So every summer you get shipped off to and there's no really better way to say it than getting shipped off to a summer ball league, summer ball team. And again, it's the same thing. You show up first day and you don't know anybody, right? And there's probably 28 to 30 guys that you meet on day one, and then build an instant relationship over the game of baseball, right? And you build a network and you build so many connections to other college baseball players, and that's something that I found really special about college baseball, because you go off, like I said, you meet all these guys, and then you go back to your college teams and you get to play against these guys, and that's a lot of fun, and you get to track how these guys do over time. You get to learn about different programs and people's different experiences, which I found very, very cool. So I hope that answered your question. Hope you learned something new about how college baseball works.